your friendly neighborhood Luis Perez.
I'm Jason Acosta.
And welcome back to another review for the Superhero Marathon!
And if you don't know what that is, be sure to check our previous video,
where we reviewed the first X-Men movie. And that was a great movie that had great characters, a great story, great fight scenes, and pretty much everything was great about it.
And now, here, we're going to discuss something before we start. Sometimes sequels are just made to make more money.
To cash in on the first movie. For example, Transformers 2.
Yeah, it pretty much made more money than the previous one.
But it was a terrible movie that was only there to cash in on the first movie.
But however, we were actually surprised that some of the best comic book movies actually are sequels.
Yeah. Wrap your brain around that.
So yeah, and here, this movie is a perfect example of one of those best comic book movies ever made.
This is X2, Xmen United. This is again the sequel to the 2000 X-Men movie. It came out in 2003 along with Ang Lee's Hulk movie.
And Daredevil.
Yeah, 3 Marvel movies. Guess what? It wasn't always the first time.
Yeah. Man, it's like they keep making 3 or 4 Marvel movies like each year. Jeez.
Now we're gonna review this sequel and see if it is truly worthy to be an X-Men sequel.
Yep. And let's see if it's truly worthy to have a Best Comic Book Sequel award.
This is X-Men 2, X-Men United. Now, it's been a couple of years after the first encounter with Magneto. Magneto's been arrested, and he's been taken to a cell that has no magnet in it. All around, Wolverine is still trying his best to live on this world that still hates mutants.
He goes to Alkali Lake, and however, he discovers very little about his past.
Apparently, we find out that, and this is gonna be a spoiler, whoever's seen the movie, we find out that he was, I guess, forced to be on the Weapon X program under the command of Sergeant Stryker.
Yep.
Who because of the experiment, gave him his adamantium claws, but during the experiment made him lose his memory.
Yep, and there's actually a voice in his memory that we hear more than once that says he will have no memory.
And he also, so all he remembers is that Stryker took away his memory, and he will not stop till he ever gets his hand out. And speak of the devil, Stryker happens to come by to wreak some havoc.
However, Stryker actually finds a way to control mutants, and he actually uses Nightcrawler to assassinate the president.
And guess who's mind controlling these mutants? Mastermind! Technically.
Yeah, apparently it's Jason Stryker. And well, what a shock, it's Stryker's son.
So he kidnaps Professor X and Cyclops, so that's the explanation why they're not really in the movie that often. Magneto escapes thanks to the help of Mystique, but they decide to team up to stop Stryker before he kills all mutants.
Yep, and in the end, Magneto actually reverses Cerebro to target all humans.
He eventually gets stopped, Stryker dies, we all live happily ever after.
Until Jean Grey makes a sacrifice, but however...
Oh yeah, until Jean Grey dies, but
however, we all know that she isn't gone for good.
The story is amazing!
If I had to say, and there's no pun intended, it's quite excellent.
Yeah, like, the characters, like, the story in this movie is very great. It tells us more about Wolverine's character in this movie, and his origin, how he lost his memory,
and it built up his relationship with Stryker,
who is the main villain of the film.
Yeah.
Now we get to the characters. First we have again Wolverine, again played by Hugh Jackman, and again he is still a perfect Wolverine.
Yep, he's still as great as always.
He's funny, he's dramatic, he's bad, but
he says bub all the time.
Hey, give me a soda, bub.
Okay.
So yeah, perfect. Then we have Cyclops,
played by James Marsden, who's unfortunately almost completely shafted in this movie.
He appears a little bit in the jail cell during the first act of the movie, doesn't appear in the second act, and is mind controlled by Mastermind to kill Jean Grey.
Yeah. I mean, okay, by the way, he's supposed to be the leader, so let him lead.
Yeah, it's even worse in X3, but we'll get to that one when we ever do get to that one. Then we have Rogue.
Well, we're played by Anna Paquin. However, while she isn't really important, well, she is important to the story.
But she's not as important as in the first movie.
Yeah. Then there's
Iceman.
Played again by Sean Ashmore.
Again, his relationship with Rogue is interesting, but there's also his relationship with his soon-to-be arch nemesis Pyro. Is really interesting. Speaking of which, then we have Pyro.
And now we get to the new characters. Then there's Pyro, played by Aaron Stanford.
And he does a pretty good job in the role. I honestly did not expect to like Pyro as much as I did in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's not really much of an X-Men villain that you really care about. In the comics, he was only there to be another henchman to Magneto.
But here, he's given more of a character than he was in the comics, and instead was once actually friends with Iceman.
Until Magneto gives him an offering, and he eventually betrays the X-Men.
Yeah, but in a believable way.
Yeah, not like a, hey, I'm gonna double cross you for no real reason.
Okay, we're gonna fight you later.
Okay. Then we have Professor X, who like Cyclops, doesn't really get to do much in this film. During most of the movies, being mind controlled by Mastermind, having like a psychological battle.
Like this.
I'm better than you.
No, I'm better than you.
No, I'm better than you.
And who you are?
Professor X.
Oh. No, I'm better than you.
Oh, come on, I'm more popular than you.
Well, at least I get a chance to be a villain.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, and
then again, now we have Jean Grey,
played again by Xenia Onatopp.
She's again great in this movie. Her relationship with Wolverine is more. I like to say.
I didn't really like it.
Yeah, like her relationship with Wolverine through these X-Men movies aren't really the best.
Yeah,
it's interesting, but.
But again, it's only there just because it was in the comics.
Yeah, pretty much.
But however, her character herself is actually more important.
Then we have
Stryker.
There's other people in it before. Then we have Mystique again.
Played by Rebecca Romaine.
She again does a great job in this movie, and she gets to do a little bit more in the movie than she did to do in the last movie.
Plus, she even has one scene with Nightcrawler that really combines their relationship into yeah. I mean,
then we have Nightcrawler.
Wow.
Just
Nightcrawler. Okay, let's just first off, the actor was great. I mean,
the guy's his voice was done perfectly. He has like the Spanish talking. Like,
yeah. I mean, and I really like all the and he looked great. And his character, and I really like all the Catholic stuff.
Yeah, like if you don't know in the comics, Nightcrawler was a Catholic. Like he believed in the Word of God.
Yeah. But however, I wish he was gone to do more often than just like sit around with the X-Men and talk and pretty much introduce himself. But unfortunately, just gets interrupted.
Yeah.
But overall, he was a great character.
Yeah. Then we have Magneto again, played by Ian McKellen.
Whose character was once again improved. And
he is actually more ruthless in this film. He kills someone with tiny little metal. He uses anything of magnetic to kill his victims. Like he kills a police officer with tiny metallic balls that he so happens to have in his body.
Yeah, like he says too much iron in your blood, and then actually kills them, and actually kills the police officer with tiny little balls.
But there's one thing I don't get. After Magneto meets up with Charles Xavier in the cerebral room, he tells Mystique to tell Mastermind to change the coordinates to kill all humans. And then for no other reason, he starts tearing apart the place. Like,
Well,
it looks cool, but I don't really get why.
I guess probably it's just to create the destruction of the place.
I don't know.
But who knows?
Then we have the main. No, wait. Then we have
we have the
Mastermind.
main villain.
No, there's another villain. Then we have Mastermind. Technically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the actor's name, but yeah, I mean,
I was surprised when I found out Mastermind was in this movie.
though they really don't call him Mastermind.
Yeah, but
I mean,
dude,
thank gosh they didn't.
stupid, really. It's just like I was surprised that they actually even got Mastermind in this film.
Yeah, he's pretty much an underrated X-Men villain.
And he actually changed his character a lot, and I do mean a lot.
Instead of Jason Wingill, instead it's Jason Stryker, who's William Stryker's son.
So good job, Marvel. You actually got a villain that I cared pretty much nothing about, and actually made him somewhat threatening.
And somewhat made him likable. And then finally we have the actual main villain,
William Stryker,
played by Brian Cox. Wow, like
if you,
he's amazing.
He's exactly like he's pretty much like Magneto, but the other way around.
Yeah, I mean they don't team up.
It's very original in this film. You have two villains, and they never team up. In fact, they're rivals.
Yeah, like for example, while Stryker is afraid of mutants, however, Magneto is actually afraid of Stryker both as a child and as an adult when he's mind controlled as an animal. I mean, and Stryker, oh my gosh, his character was brilliant in this movie.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yes, I mean
he was a perfect rival for Wolverine.
Yes, I mean and Brian just really nailed the role. Though I really wish he could have reprised his role for X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Since it was a prequel, he was very old at the time.
Well, they had to use the image software that was used in X3, but moving on. Well, that's pretty much all the characters that we. Well, oh wait, there's one more character. Lady Deathstrike.
Oh, I forgot about her, yes.
Yeah, I forgot she was in this movie.
Yes, then we have the main henchwoman of the film.
Lady Deathstrike.
Wow.
The actress does a good job.
I do like her in this movie, like Sabretooth and Toad, she doesn't really get to do much, but however,
we will always remember her for that awesome fight scene she had with Wolverine.
That was one of the greatest superhero versus villain fights in any superhero movie.
Yep, and definitely one of the greatest superhero moments just ever.
Now we have all the characters out of the way.
My gosh, there was such a lot.
Now we have the special effects. The special effects has improved from the original. There, again, Wolverine claws and Cyclops laser beams are very good.
Yeah, I really like the claws for Lady Deathstrike, which actually come from her fingernails.
Unlike in the comics, which was her actual fingers.
Yeah, it actually came from her fingers.
No, but in this movie, it was her fingernails.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, special effects, good job.
Yeah.
And ironically, this came out the same year as Hulk, which had worse special effects than the original.
Hey!
Sorry, but it's true.
Yeah, they did look cartoonish.
Now we have the music. Again, the music is amazing.
I mean, it's incredibly epic as always.
And you'll always remember it. No matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
Now we get to the best. And oh, I forgot one thing. Now we get to the fight scenes. The fight scenes are definitely approved in this movie. Yeah, it's improved.
I'm speechless. Like
the fight at the X Mansion and the fight between Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike, both of which are my favorite, are beautifully choreographed and just amazingly done.
It's so epic.
Now we get to the best and the worst. The best part is definitely Wolverine versus Lady Deathstrike.
Well, most of the fight scenes. I mean, they're definitely wonderfully choreographed, and I really like and probably my favorite fight scene is when Wolverine goes our berserker rage on the soldiers. Literally, he starts chopping them up into little pieces, and
Yeah, pretty much like this.
it's just the definitive scene of Wolverine.
Yeah, if you want to go
By
like
far.
he goes like this. Ah!
Ah! Yes, like that. That was incredibly awesome. And I do have to admit, I did get a little emotional. Like, I didn't cry or anything, but I felt like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to see.
So yeah, good job. Now we get to the bad.
Again, I really did not like Wolverine and Jean Grey's relationship in the first movie, and I don't like it here either. Like, I mean, there's one scene where Wolverine and Jean Grey, they're talking, they're having a nice conversation, but then all of a sudden, like, Wolverine just starts making smooshy-mooshy with Jean. It just comes out of nowhere, like, what? Like,
This becomes a bigger problem in the third movie. Overall, this is still a great movie. In fact, it's one of the greatest superhero. Not only is this a great sequel to the original, it's actually better than the first movie.
yes.
I give this movie the final score of 5 out of 5.
Yes.
And give it the seal of approval.
Yep, the super seal of approval.
It's a great movie. You should all watch it, rent it, buy it. I don't care. Just get it and watch it. Have a great time.
Yep. Buy your X-Men costumes, wear them, turn up the sound, and just sit back and watch the enjoyment of X2 X-Men United.
I'm Luis Perez,
I'm Jason Costa.
and I'll see you next time.
Okay, now where is that paper? Well, oh, there's the paper. Oh no! You see this? Oh no.